Hi, I'm Joe, and today I've got another Star Trek build for you. As I've been making these videos about my Star Trek brick building sets, I've been trying to group multiple sets together that have some type of common theme. And my goal, as I've said before, is to try and get all of these made before Black Friday. And I'm on a good pace to do that. And I've already mapped out what I've got to do to accomplish that and how I'm going to group everything together. But I ended up with one ship that doesn't fit any of those categories, and that's this one, the U.S.S. Stargazer. And this is a midi-scale model, similar in scale to the Voyager, the Excelsior, and the Enterprise A that I've already shown. This ship is best known as being the first ship that Jean-Luc Picard was captain of. And it was only seen in this form in only one episode, an early episode of season 1 of Star Trek The Next Generation called The Battle, where Picard thought the ship had been lost and abandoned, but the Ferengi had found it and tried to return it to him as a gift, but of course they have ulterior motives. And Captain Picard ends up being telepathically manipulated into trying to reenact that battle, except against the Enterprise instead of the Ferengi. And that's the only time we ever see this particular ship on screen, at least as a ship. It often shows up as a model in Captain Picard's ready room. And the filming model for this ship has also been used to stand in for other ships in the Star Trek universe. I had a hard time finding good pictures of this ship from the actual show. And this might be because it was 1987 and the effects were not quite fine-tuned then. And I even featured this ship in the Star Trek themed Breaking News sponsor video I made last year, but even that was a terrible picture. Here, I hope to give you a better view of this Constellation Class starship. To me, the most distinguishing feature of this ship is that it has 4 nacelles, and of course the model replicates those. But one thing I didn't quite realize, here if you take a look, especially with these cheese grater pieces on the end, they look like sideways versions of the nacelles from the Enterprise A. And when I took a closer look at some pictures, that's actually reasonably accurate. The nacelles are symmetrical on top and bottom, and they have some trans blue pieces on both the top and bottom of each nacelle. We've got some printed pieces here to show the registry number and the United Federation of Planets. There really is no secondary hull to this ship. You just have the impulse engines here, and I'm not sure what the blue tiles represent there. And then the top of the ship is a pretty standard saucer section, except instead of being round at the back, it's almost reminds me of the Millennium Falcon. And this ship is actually quite a bit thicker. Even though it's in the same scale as the Enterprise A, the Stargazer is actually a full brick thicker than the Enterprise. And if we look at the plaque at the bottom of each ship, we'll see the Stargazer here says it's 310 meters, and the Enterprise A was 304.8 meters, which means the Stargazer is actually longer than the Enterprise A. Then we have some more printed bricks here on the top, and then we have these flat silver bricks here, which kind of represent these bulges. Here's a picture of the filming model that shows those bulges. I'm not sure what their function is. Underneath, we also have a printed brick with the registry number. Looking underneath this ship, there's no deflector dish like what we commonly see on Federation ships, and I did some looking to see if maybe it was just mounted somewhat differently, and it turns out this ship simply does not have a deflector dish, and other systems just perform the same function. I thought the overall building techniques in making this model were pretty cool, but it does require some bricks that are studs on top and bottom to be able to make this assembly here in the middle that attaches all 4 nacelles. And the nacelles are only attached by stud not on top pieces here. And finally, the model is only on the stand with 1 Technic axle, and it comes off easily. And like usual in most Bluebrixx sets of this scale, the stand is made to look like, in this case, a Starfleet emblem from Star Trek The Next Generation. Thanks for stopping by to check out the Stargazer. I have, I believe, 7 more Star Trek videos to go, but I have some more building to do, and thankfully today is a good day to build.